G'day there guys, it's your Aussie hubby Markee, back at it again with another episode of r/AmiTheA. Now if you love today's content like I love you, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and enjoy today's bloody good content. Posted by user Throwaway822020, titled, Am I the a-hole for not wanting to raise a kid that isn't mine? My girlfriend became pregnant 7 years ago. It wasn't planned. I didn't want to be a dad, but did the right thing and married her. She gave birth to a girl who is now 6. I tried to be a good father, bought her toys and crap, but things changed back in April when I found out that around the time my wife became pregnant, she was fudging around with a lot of guys, and the kid may not even be mine. I got a DNA test done, and turns out I'm not the father. My soon-to-be ex and I are in the process of getting a divorce. As soon as I found out about the kid not being mine, I told my wife to take her kid and get the frick out of my house. She went to live with her mother. When they were leaving, I didn't let the kid take any of the toys and stuff that I'd bought for her. I paid for them, and she's not even my kid. My wife called me every name in the book, but I stood my ground. Yesterday was the kid's birthday. My soon-to-be ex-wife called me and told me I needed to be there for her birthday party. I told her to go screw herself. I wasn't wasting any more time and money for a kid that isn't even mine. She berated me for abandoning my daughter and how she's been crying for her father. I told her to take the kid to her real father, whoever the hell he is. Now my brother got to know about this and chewed me out. He said I was being a dick and I should have at least shown up for the kid's birthday party. So, am I the a-hole? Yes, you are, but she is also. The kid is not. She sucks for cheating, covering up, and not telling you about the daughter situation. You definitely had a right to know about that. But you suck for going nuclear like this. I feel like there is a healthy middle ground we can get to. But, the way OP's going about it, no class, all anger, all gas, no brakes, really. I don't really stand by it. It's still your daughter. You've raised this child for 6 years. Are you just going to cut all of that off and say, you know what, it's not my kid anymore. I'm not bound to it. Unfortunately, I think legally you are bound to that kid for another 12 years. And you were a dick for not even showing up to the kid's birthday party. It's still your kid. So everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here. Your ex sucks for cheating, but congratulations for bailing on a child who has only ever known you as their father, and being able to turn your back on her this quickly says more about you. The way he talks, he probably never cared about the child in the first place, even though he's been raising her for 6 years, fully believing she was his own child. But he bought her crap, and then kept all of it. Like, what is he going to do with all of the toys? Is he really being so petty as to not let the kid keep the toys? Total, you're the a-hole. These Paw Patrol figurines are mine, and I will do with them as I please. I'm not a fan of actions that are designed purely to hurt people. Yes, Mum hurt OP, so now OP will hurt a 6-year-old child. This guy is a gem of a human being. You're the a-hole. Why would you not even let the girl keep her things? You raised her for 7 years, that's her stuff. Do you not care about her at all? Being mad at her mum for cheating is one thing, but it's not okay to take it out on the child like that. She didn't choose her parents. I really love what you posted, though I'm going with everyone sucks here except the child. The way OP talked about the little girl as if she were a burden to him. She only knows OP as her dad. It's so unfair to her. She was probably scared to see them yell at one another, and for her not being able to take her stuff. You're the a-hole for taking out your anger at your ex on a child. I get that she's not your child, but she's 6. You have been her dad her entire life, and throwing her out while keeping her goddamn toys is a whole new level of a-hole. You owe your ex nothing, but you owe an innocent child caught in the middle of a pile of bullcrap some common fudging decency. You don't have to buy her any toys or presents to treat her like a child you've raised for 6 years and stop in to say happy birthday, or at least call. Does a lack of biological relationship actually cancel out 6 years of bonding and love for you? because that's some sociopathic BS right there. It doesn't sound like he loved her or felt any kind of bond with her at all in the first place though, because if he did, then he wouldn't be able to shun this poor child out so easily. Posted by user Actuator Unusual, titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my pregnant friend that she is a messed up woman with daddy issues after she accused me of being a gold-digging cougar because I'm dating her husband's son?" Now that's one of the more wild titles I've seen in a while. So, my friend, we'll call her Pat, started dating this guy Eric 3 years ago. He was her boss at the company. Later we found out that the guy was in fact a married man with 3 kids. He was in his early mid-40s. My friend here was 27. I told her that she was crazy for dating a married guy and that it would end badly. A few months later, we heard that he was getting divorced. Being her childhood friend, I did attend her wedding even though I didn't approve of their relationship. Soon after their wedding, they were fighting all the time because her husband's former father-in-law, who was the founder of the company, was planning to appoint the oldest son as the boss. All the stress involved took a toll on her husband's health, and he ended up having a heart attack. She called me crying at 2 a.m, and we took him to the hospital. In the morning, the oldest son, Sam, showed up and went in to check on his father. And that's how I met my boyfriend. Fast forward a year later, Sam and I are madly in love. I've met his siblings, his mother, grandfather, and basically everyone close to him. I was worried about breaking this news to Patricia, and worried about her reaction, because she would always complain that Sam was a rich, spoiled brat who manipulates and disrespects his father. He has never acknowledged my friend or said a word to her. She's also 6 months pregnant, and as of late, has made weird comments about my body. I'm very lean and extremely calorie conscious, which has made me feel like crap about myself. One day she saw me and Sam kissing outside my home and freaked out. She blew up at me really hard, saying that I was betraying her friendship and that I had to break it off with Sam. She said horrible things about him, things like how he's a womanizer and banged different girls every weekend. She also called me a hypocrite and a desperate gold-digging cougar for dating a younger guy. I'm 24 and he turns 23 next month. It got to a point where I lost my cool and lashed out at her, saying that being a desperate cougar was better than being a messed up woman with severe daddy issues who got with an older married guy for financial security. She got really agitated and left my home crying. My other friends are telling me that I'm an a-hole and should have kept my mouth shut because she's hormonal and pregnant. She never had a dad growing up and looked up to my father as a father figure. I know my comments were hurtful, but I was pushed. Am I the a-hole? I honestly don't know what to say. My brain kind of turned off halfway through this one, because it's just like watching a huge tire fire go out of control, and these two just keep chucking petrol in there. And it's just non-stop anger and, she said, screw you, no, you. Both of them suck. Both of them have problems, it seems. Both of them shouldn't have said what they said, but it got to a breaking point and I don't think I can blame them for it. The friend being hormonal and pregnant is more gas to the fire. It's not an excuse for her behavior. And the daddy issues is more gas, no brakes. So what I mean to say is everyone sucks here in this situation and they should just be better people, really. I can't believe you talked to your mother-in-law like that. Everyone sucks here. You both said very hurtful things. She's more of the a-hole here though. Don't break up with your boyfriend, but break off your friendship. I think it's time to pull the plugs on the friendship. She is more of an a-hole, but you should have told her the truth and not let her find out because she saw y'all kissing. Y'all were best friends, and your dad was her father figure. You owed her the truth. Everyone sucks here. Not the a-hole, maybe a light everyone sucks here. You could apologize to your friend, but I really want you to consider whether you have a relationship still due to being childhood friends, or if you genuinely enjoy one another as people. You can't just blame absolutely everything on being pregnant, even though being pregnant sucks ass. I say you should talk to her, But don't make excuses or go on the defensive. You aren't in the wrong, and you shouldn't let her make you feel like you are. Consider each other's feelings, be kind, and talk calmly. I know you can work it out in the end. I don't know. I don't exactly enjoy her company, but my family essentially raised her. We've grown up together. But our relationship suffered because I disapproved of her affair with her now husband. She's always been a bit on the heavier side, not fat by any means, but chunky, and I've always been very skinny. So over the years, she always made weird comments about my body, which only increased after she got pregnant and put on 30 pounds. I don't particularly like spending time with her. In that case, you should probably demote her to an acquaintance or cut ties altogether. If she thinks so negatively of you, she doesn't deserve your time. Posted by user NoWing868, titled, Am I the a-hole for being brutally honest about my financial stability? So I'm 26, I have no student debt, and I own a condo outright. My co-workers in the office are very anti-young people and constantly rag on those millennials and their financial irresponsibility. I'm one of 4 people under 30 in the office, and my co-workers are usually shocked by my age. They know I have no college debt because I mentioned it once, and I mentioned in passing that I bought a condo. On the last happy hour Zoom meeting, they started in on their talk. I tried to gently defend my generation, only to have them say I shouldn't because, unlike them, I'm actually responsible, and I proved that millennials actually could do it if they really tried. Here is the thing though. My aunt died when I was 8, and she basically left enough money and time for my parents to invest for a college fund. I have my condo because my grandmother died this year, and I was on the lease, and I have enough to pay off the $20,000 left on the mortgage. Basically put, my success is, to be blunt, people dying at a convenient time. I was sick of them, so I told them that my advantages were literally inheritance and that I'm not better than my cohort, just luckier. They were all shocked that I would be so cavalier and blunt, and now people are irritated. Am I the a-hole? So if I compare this one, where I said he was an a-hole for talking about his debt, with the uncle, I'd say this doesn't fall under the categorical tall poppy syndrome that a lot of Australians succumb to. You can't be better than me, come on, don't stand out from the crowd kind of ideology we have. These people on the Zoom call were, assuming, making assumptions, crapping on millennials like a lot of people do, apparently. And this guy defended himself with the truth of the matter. It's that he was just very lucky. And I don't believe that's something to be ashamed about. You've lost people in your life, and they've given you things. That luck has come with a lot of loss. But as a result, it put you in a much better situation than a lot of your peers, and that's nothing to be ashamed about being so cavalier and blunt about. They have no right to be irritated. You're not the a-hole here. Not the a-hole. Success is 99% inheritance, either direct money or networking through family. Many older folks, boomers especially, cling to the bootstrap myth that all you need is desire and hard work to get what you want. They stubbornly refuse to admit that the playing field isn't even and never has been, and completely disregard how much the systems have changed since they were 20 to 40 years old. Knowledge and skills are more specialized now, and there are far fewer programs and subsidies. It's not enough to just do what your dad did when dad's methods are outdated and don't work in the current economy. Many of them still believe that you should be out pounding pavement, resume or CV in hand, and demand interviews at places that haven't taken paper submissions in years. And it doesn't help that those same boomers have cannibalized the system for their own comfort and gain because they were coddled and catered to for most of their lives. I cannot tell you how many times I've had to argue with my dad when I've been job searching because I'm not out pounding the pavement for 6 hours a day, driving around, putting in job applications at any place with a now hiring sign. It took him years, and more than a couple attempts to prove me wrong, to realize that most hiring is now done online. He quite literally left the house at 8 a.m. one day and didn't come back until nearly 5 in the afternoon just to prove me wrong. and came home with one paper application and a whole host of websites to go to. And that was the only thing that changed his tune. Getting him to admit that moving out was financially impossible took full disclosure of mine and my wife's finances. We live with them for financial reasons, and a printout of web search for apartments in our area to show him that we just couldn't afford rent. He was blown away by the fact that a one-bedroom is around $800 a month in our area, and he thought that they were still around $500 or $600 a month. People get entrenched in their mindset, and it takes them a lot to change. We have hit a point of stability now, and we're just 4 adults. He, my mum, me, and my wife, living in a house and making sure we all pitch in to keep things good. But it took a lot of arguing to get here. Edit to add, since so many are asking, we live in the Metro Detroit area. I've seen as low as $800 and as high as $1,200 depending on area. Posted by user ThrowRA55FS. Titled, Am I the a-hole for choosing my dad over my mum? Throwaway account because my friends know my original account. I'm posting this here because I believe some of you all can understand my point of view and guide me through the right path. Thank you in advance. My 15 female parents filed for divorce a few months ago, after my dad found out about my mum's infidelity. This broke his heart because she was his high school sweetheart. I've never seen my dad cry for anything, but after finding out that my mum got pregnant with her POS new boyfriend, he broke down crying in his room. I'm really disgusted by my mum, and I don't want to have a relationship with her. I was always closer to my dad because my mum wouldn't treat me well growing up, so I chose my dad and told them that I don't want to see my mum ever again, knowing that she did this to us. She betrayed my dad and broke any trust we had in her. My mum is now mad at me for choosing my dad because I'm their only child. She wants me to be there by helping her with the pregnancy, but I don't want to do anything with her, her boyfriend, or their unborn child. I'm honestly tired of her. She accused my dad of brainwashing me and flaunting his money to make me stay with him. Yes, my dad is richer than her. His family is also wealthy, but I chose him because I don't want to leave him alone. I don't want to betray him like my POS mum did. My aunts, mum's sisters, are now blaming my dad and are harassing me for isolating my mum. They're calling me an ungrateful child because my mum carried me for 9 months and I'm not choosing her. I can't talk to my friends about this as they don't understand my life. They don't have divorced parents, and I just wanted to know if I did the right thing or not. So, am I the a-hole? Edit 1. Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank every single one of y'all here. Thank you for understanding my pain, and thank you for showing me the true colors of my mum. All these, while I thought she really wanted me to be there with her because she was weak during her pregnancy, but reading everyone's comments made me realize that she actually wants me as the unpaid nanny. She also wants me to be with her because she wants my dad to pay child support. I was really gullible and thought she wanted me because she loved me. I feel crappy now. I have blocked all of my aunt's numbers and I showed my dad this thread. Like some of y'all suggested, I would definitely let my dad's lawyer know about the harassment that I was receiving. I'm not sure if I want to cut my mum off from my life entirely or not, and I know her unborn child is innocent, but I'm not ready to face any of them. I hope in the future, I'm strong enough to forgive her and be a sibling to her child. But for now, I want to be with my dad because he needs it. I suggested therapy for both of us, and my dad agreed too. He was really thankful for everyone's comment also. Thank you again, thanks for the awards, 10 kind strangers. I would definitely reply to the DMs as soon as possible, and I just need some time to digest everything. Thank you again, have a great day everyone. Well, I think given that OP is not the a-hole in this situation, before the edit, I'm sure there was a case to be made for OP being an everyone sucks here situation, or maybe you're the a-hole for going against your mother. That would be a weird and wonderful reality, not one that I want to live in personally, as I feel for OP. It's a rock and a hard place situation, but ultimately I believe that going with the dad was the best decision and it came with the best outcome of all. You don't want to be emotionally manipulated by your mother, you don't want to be guilt-tripped into going with one over the other, And she did make the right decision in the end, not the a-hole. And don't ever think that you are, ever. You are old enough to make your own decisions, and I don't blame you for choosing your dad over your mom. Anyone in that situation would. What you did was right. If you don't want anything to do with your mom, that's your decision, and no one can change that. You said yourself that she has broken the trust between you, and that's not easily repairable. Block your aunts so they can no longer contact you or harass you. They clearly don't understand your point of view in this situation. You're not ungrateful, and I can't imagine why they would say that or even think that. Stay strong. Not the a-hole. As someone whose parents divorced for the same thing, even though it was my dad that was unfaithful, I also wanted to add something. You're a good kid, a truly good kid. You are trying to think for yourself instead of being pushed around with someone else's opinion. Keep doing so. You'll never be right in everyone's eyes in the end. If you express your opinion, you will be told to shut up because the divorce doesn't concern you. And guess what? It actually does concern you. If you don't, you will pee someone off. If you think your dad is right, someone will be mad. If you think your mom is right, someone else will be mad. Everyone feels entitled to butt in, even though it's none of their business. So the best course of action is doing what you think is right. If you feel your mum betrayed you and your dad, what you feel is valid. Don't doubt your feelings. Your parents may be the ones getting a divorce, but you have every right to feel whatever you may feel. And yes, it does concern you. We as children may have nothing to say in the matter, and we should respect our parents' decision, but we do suffer with it. Try to be at peace with yourself. Try to see everything clearly, and don't ever allow yourself to be influenced. Your aunts are trying to do so by trying a guilt trip, so keep true to yourself. Posted by user, deleted their account, whoops. Titled, Am I the a-hole for planning to go on a trip with my biological kids without my stepkids? I know the title sounds bad, but please hear me out. I, 45 male, remarried 2 years ago. I have 4 kids from my first marriage, 15 male, 12 female, and 9 male. My ex and I have 50-50 custody. I get them twice a week and every other weekend. Due to COVID, we just switched back to this schedule because I am an essential worker. My wife has 3 kids from her previous marriage, 14 female, 10 male, 8 male. My stepkid's dad gets custody as well. Well, this weekend, my stepkids are going to their dad's house and I have my kids. My parents have a lake house and are hosting a family gathering. I planned on going with my wife, biological kids, and stepkids. However, they are with their stepdad, so they can't go. My wife said that we should not go because they will be jealous, and we are doing lots of water activities, including jet skiing, tubing, paddleboarding, etc. I asked if she could ask her ex if they can come this weekend, and he would have them next weekend. But no, because they already have plans. Keep in mind that my stepkid's dad is very wealthy. He has a huge backyard with a hot tub and a pool with a waterfall and cave. Whenever he has them, they go on lavish trips, and for holidays and birthdays they get expensive gifts. My kids understand that they don't have that and never give their stepsister or brother a hard time about it. But they would be bummed if they could not go to the lake. I promised my stepkids that we would do something fun, but now there is bullying and tension between the kids, and my wife blames me for still planning on going. Am I the a-hole? This is another one of those where it's like, rock into hard place. The stepkids obviously have a step up in this one. They have it a lot better in some ways than your biological kids because of that parent that takes them away and gets them expensive gifts. Do your biological kids have a right to be jealous and take it out on them for having a better lifestyle? Do the stepkids get to take it out on you guys for not taking them to the lake house when you promised them to go? These are all different situations. I think it's very dependent on who they are and what kind of situations you find yourselves in as a family dynamic. Personally, from the outside looking in, I'd say, you have to go on this trip. What, are you going to just cancel it because you can't have the stepkids? You may be an a-hole in the stepkids' eyes for doing so, but ultimately you'd be an a-hole for cancelling it for your biological kids, who they had no control over. Therefore, you've just got to do it. I don't think you're an a-hole. I think you're just in a very tough position. Edit. Thank you for all of your replies. I sat down and had a talk with stepkids, wife, and bio kids present. We talked about everyone's concerns and needs. We came to a conclusion that wife, bio kids, and I are going to Lake House this weekend. Stepkids also have fun plans with their dad this weekend. In 2 weeks, we will go back down to the lake for a weekend. Stepkids apologized for their behavior, wife apologized for her ultimatum. Everyone left happy and conflict resolved. Thank you for your help. I'm gonna read some comments anyway, because it's just tradition. Not the a-hole. Please take your kids. Your wife is being extremely unreasonable. Your stepkids get lots of activities that your bio kids don't get. I would turn it around on your wife. Hey wife, stepkids went to Disney last year with their dad. We now need to take my bio kids. It's only fair. I don't want to make them jealous. Hey, just saw the stepkids' dad bought the kids new iPads. We need to save to give all my kids those too. It's only fair. See how fast she changes her tune. Not the a-hole. Your wife thinks your kids shouldn't hang out with their own family while her kids are out being pampered by their father? You need to stand up for your kids. Sheesh. Not the a-hole. If your parents are hosting, it's not your fault that it's a bad weekend. If their dad won't switch weekends, it's not your fault they won't be with you. There is no reason to deprive yourself and your kids of fun just because it doesn't work for the other kids' schedules. Life isn't fair sometimes. Posted by user NachoMama34. Titled, Would I be the a-hole if I exclude my husband from the birth of our 6th child? I'm 38 weeks pregnant. My husband has been a great supporting partner in all of our 5 children's births. Some we've birthed at home, some at the hospital, and he's caught all of them and been my best cheerleader. I really don't think I would have been able to make it through without him. We have a great marriage and are generally happy. So here's the but. 2 years ago, he started a new career in the medical field. He has to attend births in our small rural hospital. Prior to this, he has only ever seen me give birth. Now that he's seen many women give birth in all sorts of situations and outcomes, he has taken to mansplaining birth to me. Sometimes his mansplanations aren't even correct. He told me from what he's seen, the average pregnancy lasts 38 weeks. I told him that the average pregnancy is 40 weeks. That's how they came up with that number in the first place, because it's the average. He's worked at one early induction happy hospital. That doesn't make him an expert, and besides that, I don't care at all when other women go into labor. That has nothing to do with my body. I know what my body does. So I averaged out my 5 births, and my average is 39 weeks and 6 days. So basically, right around 40 weeks. It's pissing me off that he's suddenly acting like something is wrong with me for going a perfectly normal and healthy length of time. He also likes to mansplain other aspects of birth and compares what I do to other women. He even went so far as to say he's worried now that I'll be giving birth with his co-workers and not some random hospital staff, that I'll embarrass him. Listen, I have extremely fast labors. My first was under 2 hours, and many of mine have been less than an hour. Guess what? That's not the norm or average either, but that's what my body does. Do you know what it means to have fast labors? There's no time to get an epidural or any other pain relief. I have only ever had all natural births, and that's the plan for this one too. So if I get a little short and snappy with people while I'm pushing a human out of my body and doing the single most difficult thing of my life, I think I get a pass. I'm kind of concentrating on pushing a bowling ball out of my lady parts, and not tiptoeing around everyone's feelings, especially not his. So after me blowing up at him for being embarrassed, I told him I don't want him there. If his ego is so fragile, then he doesn't have to be there at all. If he doesn't know what happened, he can't be embarrassed by it. Problem solved. Honestly, I don't really want to go to the hospital with all the COVID restrictions. I'm not afraid at all to birth at home by myself. Like I said, I've done it before. Would I be the a-hole if I just had the baby and then told him after our son is born? AITA, he's a respiratory therapist. He's only there at the end in case the baby isn't breathing. and we do need to talk at least once more. I don't want to exclude him to be petty. I don't want to have anyone there that is unsupportive. Honestly, this is a very sound and level-headed argument that she's making here. It's not even an argument, it's just her laying down what she expects of him. He's the one making a big deal of this all. She's kind of just like, I'm here to do my job, I need to focus, I don't care about your feelings, it's normal, these workers are not here to judge me, they may be your co-workers, but they're here to get a job done. You're the one making it weird, buddy. I don't see anything wrong with what she's said. If she doesn't want him there because he's not being supportive, it's only going to add unnecessary stress to the birth, and she already has to do it without an epidural from her 5 previous pregnancies. I can't imagine the pain. I genuinely can't imagine the pain. I wouldn't even say that we don't know the full story here. We do know the full story now. He's intentionally being like this. I feel like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The husband is living in loopy land, and she's sick of it. If she wants him there, she'll have him there. If he's not supportive, she won't have him there. They're going to talk about it. I feel like she's not the a-hole in any of this. Not the a-hole. Your medical procedure, your say. Stress can delay and cause complications with delivery. If he's there stressing about his work, he's likely to stress you out, and he's not being your partner in supporting you. He needs to be there to support you. He's more focused on himself right now. If he can't shape up, not the a-hole, but if you all have a great marriage and he's been your best cheerleader, you owe him a calm discussion about how you have appreciated his support during your previous labors and how that is what you want again. If he can't give you that, then tell him he's not welcome in the delivery room. Precisely. I am guessing this is also the first one after he began his new career. He's going to understand that he will maybe be there in a different capacity from working there. And I know it's hard, but a calm talk when neither of you are stressed during a quiet time might help. You can give him the opportunity to be better. Good luck. Why is it her job to make him better? Isn't he a full-grown man, a father of 5 no less, who should be perfectly able to adjust to a better human from the feedback he's already got? Because sometimes we all get a little too stuck in selfish mode, and it's helpful when our loved ones point that out to us. It's just part of a partnership. In a relationship, you are a team. No one is perfect. If you blamed everyone or dropped them at every opportunity, nothing would last. There is no shame in telling someone how what they are doing isn't ideal, and giving them a chance to understand that, and hopefully better it. This. I know Am I the A-hole is collectively a little therapy happy at times, which I'm personally fine with. We could all use a little more knowledge of self. But this might be a good discussion to have with a neutral mediator. Dad's proud of his new career and experience, and probably trying to be more involved, while Mum has done this before and doesn't need Statler and Waldorf in the delivery room. Both valid points, both really emotional topics, totally fair to want to referee. Not the a-hole regardless. Alright guys, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something that you didn't know before. If you haven't already, please do feel free to click that like button, as it really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already and you love today's video, please feel free to subscribe. I would love it a lot. Also, big shout out to all my Patreon members and channel subscribers. You guys are all up on the screen right now. I love you. I love your faces. Also, I love seeing you guys all chatting down below in the comments. It brightens my day to see the stories that you guys share and just the kind words you guys always have for my videos, as well as everyone else in the videos. I love you too. But honestly, your ongoing support means the world to me, and I just love it so much that you guys are able to support a career for myself that I invest so much time into. And you guys honestly motivate me to work harder each and every day to put more love into the videos for you guys. If you guys have watched this far in the video and you haven't already subscribed on Patreon or become a channel member, that's cool, you don't have to, but there are links down below. You can donate any amount of money, pledge that any month, cancel whenever. I'm completely cool with it. It's just there for you to support me if you'd like to go the extra mile. And I'll go the extra mile for you guys by putting out new amazing content every single day. With that said guys, I really hope you have a good day, night, sleep, bath, time at work, whatever you're up to today. This has been Markee. I'll see you in the next amazing video. Bye.